we mentioned just yesterday on the show, I went through a long description again of how we ended up where we are in the Washington, D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, where you had the full circuit court overrule the decision made by the three-member en banc. This is a federal court ruling relating to Lieutenant General Michael Flynn and his prosecution and the trial court judge Emmett Sullivan. All I wanted to add today in the first five, I don't really usually say I told you so, but I told you so. What has happened is there is now a briefing schedule, even though it's all been briefed, a hearing schedule. The point being, the final decision that Judge Emmett Sullivan will render when he has no other option legally except to let the case be dismissed because he's not the prosecutor, he's the judge, but that will now occur after Election Day. And I'm going to tell you why. I understand that someone can always come up with a rationale for why the hearing schedule was set the way it was. It makes perfect sense, and there's no reason to be suspicious. But the entire conduct of Judge Emmett Sullivan has been suspicious in this case, including this particular decision. As I mentioned yesterday, it's kind of like if you're the umpire and it's the playoffs, it is the World Series, and someone hits a home run at the bottom of the ninth and they clean the bases and they score 4 runs. You don't get to change the rules later and say, well, the umpire is going to confer about whether to give 4 runs. Maybe that should only count for 2 runs. It is a crystal clear, undeniable duty of this judge to follow the order or follow the request of the Department of Justice in dropping all the charges. And backing up even further from that clear distinction, that's why we have separation of powers. We have 3 distinct branches of government, which by itself is a reason he needs to leave it alone, is because anyone following the case understands the level of corruption that's been exposed inside the Department of Justice that led initially to the decision to prosecute Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. I think Emmett Sullivan sees some political advantage. I mean, the best case argument is he sees some political advantage. He's a Democrat. He's a leftist. Maybe this will hurt Trump because the case remains in the headlines. Maybe it still looks bad. A close Trump affiliate still has a prosecution hanging over his head. Whatever his motivation is, it is not the motivation to follow the rule of law in America. And that, my very fine friends, is today's First Five.